Sometimes it's just easier to make a video of something than replying to 1,000 comments, and that's what I'm finally getting around to doing today, to hopefully clear up some information on as far as why I don't have an annunciator, why I haven't installed one, why I don't feel it's necessary, and some of the concerns with that. All of this annunciator talk has this garage building in question, and sometimes this shed is also in question. Usually it's this garage though over here that has become the center of attention for this annunciator talk. So let's talk about why I've decided to go the way that I have. First, I think we need to clear up some information on what this system is, as well as what the purpose of an annunciator actually is. Okay, first things first, this system is not a toy system. This system is in place to actually serve the purpose of a fire alarm system and serve the purpose of detecting, alerting, and in some small ways containing a fire as far as letting doors close. But its main purpose is being able to detect an issue, whether that's a manual activation of a pull station, automatic activation of a smoke or heat, or one of the most important things, monitoring the sprinkler system. Not only will that alert us of if a sprinkler head is activated for fire, you also really want to know if a sprinkler head is activated, whether there's a fire or not, because whether there's going to be fire damage or water damage, both of those are not desirable things, and this system will alert me of that by making a whole lot of noise, closing doors, flashing lights, and sending me notifications on my phone through the security system recognizing the fire alarm's activated. So long story short, it's here in place as an actual protection system. Is some things done up a little bit overkill for the space it's in? Yeah, we have a few more manual activation points than we really need. And other than that though, it's pretty realistic and it's not too over the top. The second thing is that I don't need an annunciator. So I think I need to explain to a lot of people what the purpose of an annunciator is. So for one, 99% of the time, other than demo systems, annunciators aren't there as some visual decoration on a wall, as something to look at. And they're not even so much as far as testing or maintenance of a fire alarm system. Annunciators are really there for one purpose only, and it's to aid the fire department and firefighters in safely fighting the fire and containing it in that building. The main purpose of an annunciator is for a quick and easy way for fire department to be able to see the alarm. It's not supposed to, do they have the function of silencing it, doing drills and resetting it? Sure, they do. But that's not really the main purpose. The main purpose is just to be able to tell a firefighter where the issue is. Because 90% of the time, the fire alarm system is not right at the main entrance of a building like it is in this case, which this is what we're talking about here. We'll get into this. Usually they are in the dead center of a building, possibly underground, a couple floors up, in an electrical room or some sort of service equipment room of the building, which is usually not right at the main entrance. And potentially, if the building is on fire or there is an emergency going on in the building, it could be in a dangerous situation where a firefighter could have to travel through a dangerous building to be able to see the location of the alarm. The main purpose of the annunciator is to be an aid to the fire department at the front door of the building, so a firefighter can have quick access, immediate access into the building, usually wherever that main entrance is decided. Sometimes there'll be multiple around the building where firefighters would pull up to the building and have the quickest way into the building. That's where your annunciator is, and it gives them a way to see the location of the fire without having to physically travel through a dangerous building. So not only it saves time, as they can quickly see it, not have to go running around for a fire alarm panel, but it can make it a safer situation if you're not having to travel through an unknown circumstance as far as not knowing what's going on in this building exactly. You can quickly come in, see either what it is, if it's pull, smoke, heat, sprinkler, flow. So you can see the type of alarm, and the main purpose, of course, is to show whereabouts that alarm is, to strategize how they should be going about containing and fighting this fire. Oh, look! That's the front door. That's the fire alarm panel. No way. The fire alarm panel's right beside the front door. So, we don't need an annunciator. Because you come in the front door and the panel's right there. You don't need an annunciator if the panel is the annunciator. The annunciator isn't anything different. Sometimes they can be set up different where they will have more zone annunciation, because we have to be able to, in Canada, show a minimum of 8 zones in alarm at once. If the building's more than 8 zones, which many are, you have to be able to show each zone. You don't need an annunciator when the panel is right at the front door. Is it cool? Yeah. Is it cool for $1,200? Not so much. The price for me getting an annunciator is ridiculous. For those of you that don't know, I am Canadian. Any bit of fire alarm system, look at my fire alarm system here, double the price of what it would cost for anyone in the United States. The shipping alone on any parts is ridiculous. Many times the shipping alone is more than the cost of the part itself. Not to mention what's available and what actually ships to Canada is a lot thinner. So for anyone wondering about that, the cost of buying a fire alarm system in Canada, especially for someone like me who's getting stuff mostly from eBay, as I don't get the parts right from a distributor, it's expensive, and it's a lot more expensive than it is for anyone in the United States as far as shipping and what is actually available. So annunciator to get ANN80, which would be my go-to, would be quite expensive. Now, I'm not saying annunciator would be completely unrealistic, as an outside annunciator is nice, but ANN80s are unfortunately not rated for the severe drops in temperature that we get in Canada, as it is currently, I think it's about -10 degrees Celsius right now, which isn't too cold. It certainly gets colder around the country, but ANN80s are not rated for that. So you can get heated enclosures and stuff like that, but it's not worth it for the cost. I don't need the annunciator that bad. For those of you saying have it in the house, I don't need it in the house. There's no reason to have an annunciator in the house when that's not the building that the fire alarm system protects. I get notifications and other forms as far as if there's an emergency going on. So it's not needed in the house. Not to mention I have to get communication to that annunciator in the house. So not only we're still paying for a lot, but it's a lot of work for something that's not necessary when I'm not even sure if I'm staying in that location of the house. If the fire alarm system was ever expanded to the house, then yes, we would definitely want some form of communication as far as where that alarm is in the house, so we would likely have an annunciator at the front door. That brings us to a whole nother thing though, as I'm not doing a fire alarm system in the house. I should probably make a video on that too, because you guys keep bugging me about that. It won't work. I'm sorry guys, the conditions in that building right now and how fire safety devices are currently handled in that building, it's just not going to work. It'll open up way more problems than we want. Monthly fire alarm tests won't be happening anymore. Any other tests of the fire alarm system won't be happening nearly as often. False alarms will be all the time. Detectors will be pulled down. Systems will be in trouble. I'm sorry guys, it won't work. You're going to have to take my word for this one and just understand that I've thought about it. I wish it could happen myself, but there's some things that just won't work in this world, and that is one of them. So as far as that not happening, we have no reason for an annunciator in the house. That separate building out there, the thing I would do before an annunciator is a relay out there to turn on a blue strobe to show that that is the building in alarm. But it is a one-zone building, a one-zone structure. It is very unnecessary. The alarm sets off this building anyways. And as this is the building with the fire alarm panel in it, this is the one you come to no matter what, and you can see it's over there. So the main reasons for not having an annunciator, short story long, is what I've basically just done. Now I'm going to do long story short, is the cost is ridiculous for me in Canada to get an AN80. They do make those would I like an annunciator? Sure, if it was free, I'd take one. I don't know where I'd put it because I don't have a reason for one in this building because the fire alarm system's right there. It would be kind of goofy. Could I do one on the other shed? I guess. It wouldn't be realistic. It wouldn't hurt anything. What would make the most sense would be one located on the outside of this building. But Firelight doesn't sell an enclosure. They do make enclosures, but at this point, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars just to have an annunciator. I'm sorry guys, that's not my priority. So I'm sure this video is going to upset a lot of people, but I wanted to answer this question instead of answering this question in comments form at least probably a few times a week minimum. It is easier just to make a video and clear this up. You guys can argue with me in the comments about why you think I should do it, but end of the day, not cost effective, it doesn't make sense, and for it to make sense, it's a ridiculous amount of money when it's not even necessary. I think I've said the same thing about 1,000 times at this point. So I just wanted to clear that up, and I hope you guys can understand my reasons for that, and let me know if you guys think that I need to make a video on how I would do a fire alarm system in the house if I was to do that. It's fun to think about, but it can't happen, and I have laid it all out where I'd put detectors. If I was to do a system in the house, it wouldn't be a system that's just for fun. It would be to serve an actual purpose and to actually do a much better job than the crappy Kidda ionization detectors. Could I upgrade them to photoelectric? Sure. They're just gonna go missing. I've given up. That's a battle I'm not gonna fight anymore. So let me know if you guys would like a video on how I would lay out a system. That can be fun, is doing the theoretical design. It wouldn't be an advanced system at all. It would probably be a few smokes. I'd probably just replace the smokes that are already there, so 2 smokes. I don't think I'd bother doing the bedrooms as it's grandfathered in. It's not a new house. It was built in 1976 when the only requirements for smokies were each floor. So I just replace what's already there for smokies, as I do 2 smokes, 2 notification appliances. That would be it. 2 addressable smokes probably, or I could run it off a conventional card. And I would probably do 2 low frequency sounders, as they don't piss the dogs off quite as much and they are better for waking people. And that would be it. There'd be no manual activation points as they're not aesthetically pleasing in a house. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. White smoke detectors and white low frequency sounders blend in a lot better. And that would basically be the extent of that system. And the other thing is I'd probably just have it create somehow a supervisory out here, because I don't want this system to be fully set off if that system was, and vice versa. This system doesn't need to fully activate that system. Are there ways to do it? Yes. Am I likely to do it? No. It's going to be a huge pain to set up and program and do, and mostly maintain and keep it operational would be the struggle. And you got to run power, or you got to run SLC and NAC into the house, which wouldn't be impossible. You would have to go in that conduit with the data. I guess I could run a 5 conductor. Probably wouldn't be a Class A SLC. I'd just put an isolator, isolate the house, and then I got to run it through the attic and then run it down an interior wall, probably through the raceway that the ducts run in, the return air, and I could pop down to a detector, but I don't care that much. So call me lazy, but I just know it'd be more trouble than it's worth. Anyways, guys, I've blabbed for a while, so if you no, I'm not going to tell you to like this. This was goofy. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to put them down below. You can argue with me. I can argue back. I enjoy doing that. Thanks for watching.